Strong news from the Donetsk sector. The strike drone unit of the 100th Separate Mechanized Brigade, Valor, released footage showing how two FPV drones destroyed Russian drone operator positions that had been launching FPVs at Ukrainian lines from this location. The video opens with a reconnaissance UAV. 9 Russian operators are visible spread between a yard and several residential garages. One steps out to the gate to retrieve his FPV that had landed near the driveway. The attack begins at that moment. The first FPV darts through the gate and detonates inside the structure. The blast causes the roof and walls to collapse, leaving debris across the yard. The second FPV follows up, arcing over the adjacent roof and striking a group attempting to regroup and recover equipment. The footage shows fragments scattering, damaged control stations and antennas, and fire in the doorway. The closing pass records a crater, collapsed garages, and scattered communications gear. Assessment indicates the enemy launch and control point was destroyed, and their FPV activity on this axis has been disrupted. Great news from the Donetsk direction. Ukrainian forces released footage of a Russian armored personnel carrier with infantry riding on top attempting to break through a Ukrainian defensive line in a forested area, only to strike 2 anti-tank mines. The video opens with a Ukrainian drone tracking the APC as it moves along a narrow forest road with troops on the hull. Reaching a dead end, the vehicle begins reversing to retreat along the same route. At that moment, it strikes the first anti-tank mine. The blast lifts the armored vehicle and throws the soldiers on top into the air, with several falling to the ground. The driver, apparently disoriented, tries to continue backing up. Moments later, a second detonation occurs, even more powerful. The APC ignites instantly, with fire engulfing the hull and its external equipment. Flames spread rapidly, leaving the personnel little time to respond before the vehicle is consumed. Strong news from the Donetsk sector, where fighters of the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade and operators of the strike drone company demonstrated top skill during urban fighting in Solov. They destroyed a Russian T-80 tank with reinforced protection using a standard FPV drone. The video opens with the FPV circling above the tank. Additional armor screens on the turret and external gear are visible as the vehicle maneuvers through courtyards, attempting to conceal itself behind buildings. The operator keeps the reticle steady on target and selects the attack line. The drone dives and strikes a vulnerable area. A bright flash follows, and the tank is disabled as flames spread across the hull. The closing pass shows the tank completely immobilized, with its turret lying nearby amid scorched debris and hot spots on the ground. A visible fuel spill remains at the site. This episode clearly illustrates the precision and coordination of the operators, who can neutralize heavy armor with minimal means. Strong news from the Kharkiv axis. The Austri-Karta strike UAV company documented the destruction of a Russian UAZ Bachenka resupply van near Kubok. A reconnaissance drone tracks the vehicle along a dirt road to a supply point already stacked with crates. Moments later, an FPV drone launches, weaving through trees before locking onto the van. Just as unloading begins, it strikes the rear cargo door. A powerful blast scatters the crates, fire erupts, and secondary detonations shake the site. The final shot reveals a burned shell, crater, and destroyed supplies, leaving Russian artillery in the area silenced. Strong news from the Zaporizhia sector. The Ronin unit of the 65th Separate Mechanized Brigade recorded an unusual episode involving Russian troops. One soldier attempted to shield himself from an incoming Ukrainian FPV strike using the lid of a washing machine. The video opens with a reconnaissance drone tracking a Russian soldier near a ruined building. He first stands outside smoking, then moves into the doorway to observe. His comrade sits inside on the right, showing no activity. After assessing the situation, Ukrainian forces launch an FPV toward the shelter. Realizing the threat, the Russian soldier dashes inside, grabs the nearest object, the top panel of an old washing machine, and in a desperate attempt at protection, places it on his head. The second individual remains pressed to the wall, taking no action. The detonation moment is not captured, as the tactical situation did not allow for a second angle. Even so, the outcome is clear: the strike was successful and rendered the enemy combatants unable to continue fighting.